Inspiration sparks and raises our vibration, encouraging all of us to live our best lives. It is my pleasure to welcome our speaker for this evening, Bonnie Crosier. Bonnie is the president and founder of SCoA. Her passion is with education and working with those who want to explore their spiritual journey by searching and getting curious about life. As a retired chaplain, she brings a great understanding of spiritual care to her ministry. A warm Harmony Harbor welcome to Bonnie.
Hey, everybody. It's so good to see you again today. Well, I want to read something to you today that many of you may have heard this, even though it was published from 1897 to 1949. The authors were Viginia O'Hanlon and Francis B. Church. The title, Yes, Virginia, There is a Santa Claus. Dear editor, I am 8 years old, and some of my little friends say there is no Santa Claus. Papa says if you see it in the sun, it must be so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Virginia O. Hanlon. And the reporter from the Sun-Times writes, Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They have been affected by skepticism at a skeptical age. They do not believe except what they see. They think that nothing can be which is not comprehensible to their little minds. All minds, Virginia, whether they are to be men's or children's, are little. In this great universe of ours, man is a mere insect, an ant, and in his intellect as compared with the boundless world about him, as measured by the intelligence capable of grasping the whole truth and knowledge. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exist. And you know that they're abound, and to give your life its highest beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary would the world be if there would be no Santa Claus? It would be as dreary as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith then, no poetry, no romance to make tolerable this existence. We should have no enjoyment except sense and sight. The eternal light with each childhood fills the world. It would be extinguished. Not believe in Santa Claus. You might as well not believe in fairies. You might get your papa to hire men to watch all of the chimneys on Christmas Eve to catch Santa Claus, but even if you did not see Santa Claus coming down, what would that prove? Nobody sees Santa Claus, but that's no sign that there is no Santa Claus. The most real things in the world are those neither children nor men can see. Did you ever see fairies dancing on the lawn? Well, of course not. But that's no proof that they're not there. Nobody can conceive or imagine all the wonders that are unseen and unseeable in the world. You tear apart a baby's rattle and you see what makes the noise inside, but there's a veil covering the unseen world, which is not the strongest men nor the united strength of all of the strongest men that ever lived could tear it apart. Only faith, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and view the picture of the super beauty and glory beyond. Is it real? Ah, Virginia, in all this world, there is nothing else real and abiding. No Santa Claus. Thank God. He lives and lives forever. 1,000 years from now, Virginia, nay, 10 times 10,000 years from now, he will continue to make glad the hearts of childhood. and that was written by Francis B. Church, the editor of the New York Sun, in 1897. Some of you may be wondering, why is she talking about Santa Claus in July? Well, let's call this Christmas in July today. Many retailers have taken advantage of this imaginary holiday to boost sales during the summer months when sales are generally low. So I was thinking, why not have our own Christmas in July, so to speak? Whether you celebrate Christmas in December or not, I'm hoping some of the intention displayed in this writing for kindness and compassion finds you with a new understanding. If anyone logs into social media or turns on the news or still reads newspapers, it seems to be filled with unsettling information and opinions. In this time of obvious unrest and uncertainty that surrounds us, I'm finding a variety of emotions that come to the surface. For some, it's fear, anxiety, maybe some embarrassment, worry, panic, desperation, and the list goes on. For some, it may look like a time of opportunity, adventure, exploration, anticipated change. Looking a little bit more into the emotional climate, I wonder what this place and time looks like for you. I have people who are close to me that feel traumatized, used, defeated, and maybe disappointed, while others feel a need to be heard and a sense of redefining what you'll tolerate and what you will not. I wonder what it would be like if we all were filled with Virginia's questions and wonderment. I wonder what it would be like if we could all carry hope and compassion, kindness and opportunity while still being heard, as the response said, to make glad the heart of childhood. I feel blessed that we have each and every week here to come together. Even though many miles separate us, the energy is that each one of you give. And it seems to make a connection through the wonderment of Zoom. How does that happen? I'm sure there's been philosophical discussions about that, and somewhere maybe some sort of scientific research has been conducted. But it doesn't take much to understand and feel that during this gathering, we just might be open to the personality of Virginia. I really feel that through our challenges, each of you in attendance still have room in your hearts for positive outcomes and your lives provided by the curiousness of life itself. So how do we keep that going? I truly believe that more like-minded people that come together, the stronger energy that's created in the universe. About the exchange in Francis Church's editorial with Virginia, he writes, "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus." Pretty bold statement. That editorial first appeared over 100 years ago in the New York Sun, and then in the New York Sun. It was reprinted annually until 1949 when the paper went out of business. The popularity of this editorial carried a message of hope and kindness towards the little girl who seemed to be struggling with the question, is there a Santa Claus? The fact that some of you remember this editorial proves the importance of Church's answer to her, and some of us who were born after 1949 still remember the writings as it had just been published its last time. When interviewed later in life, Virginia O'Halloran recalled the events that prompted her letter. She said, quite naturally, I believe in Santa Claus, for he never disappointed me. But then less fortunate little boys and girls said there wasn't any Santa Claus. So I was filled with doubt and asked my father, and he was just a little evasive on the subject. It was a habit in our family that whenever any doubts came up as to how to pronounce a word or some question of historical fact was in doubt, we would write to the question and answer column in the Sun. Father would always say, If you see it in the sun, it's so. And that would settle the matter. She decided to write the sun to learn the real truth about her nagging question. And her father supported her by saying, "Go ahead, Virginia. I'm sure the sun would give you the right answer. It always does." Church was the son of a Baptist minister and had covered the Civil War for the New York Times. He then worked for the New York Sun for 20 years, and Church had his personal motto: endeavor to clear your mind of "I can't." In other words, might be, everything's possible. Virginia went on to graduate from Hunter College with a Bachelor of Arts degree at the age of 21, and following years she received her master's from Columbia. And in 1912 she began teaching for the New York school system. Later, she became a principal. After 47 years as a retired educator, Virginia O'Halloran Douglas died on May 13th, 1971, at the age of 81. So I wonder how her life would have changed had she either not gotten a response or maybe gotten a negative response. I often wonder how various outcomes would come to a different resolution if maybe energy around it was maybe different or positive or curious. In the story, Church writes, "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exist. And if you know that they are bound to give to your life the highest beauty and joy." He talks about life being graced with the highest beauty and joy, and I can only imagine how the readers at that time must have felt in 1897. In that year, Spain declared war on the U.S., and then the U.S. declared war on Spain. The U.S. was at unrest for most of that year, ending with a peace treaty with Spain in December. So if you take into consideration the time of that time in history, I wonder if he was kind of speaking to everyone and not just Virginia. I also wonder how we can influence others simply by meeting them where they are in their lives, conversationally, and getting curious about the words and thoughts and actions instead of assuming that we all have the answers to what's being stated. Something said and something perceived may not be the whole picture. So in my opinion, that's two wrongs, and two wrongs don't make a right. The spirit within us is supporting us each day, trying to help us see the beauty and the joy that we so richly deserve. But it takes a joint effort by opening our eyes, both physical and spiritual, and our hearts to see the beauty. Sometimes is a task all its own. A wise woman whom I deeply respected once said, "When going your way or look bad, stop and find the blessing." There are blessings in every situation. Well, was she a blind optimist? Maybe. Or all those years ago, did she understand the power of energy fueled with actions and reactions and how we need to do our part in finding the peace within ourselves, in harmony and keeping the peace? She wrote, "You tear apart the baby's rattle and see what makes the noise inside, but there is a veil covering the unseen world, which not the strongest man nor the united strength of the strongest men have ever lived to tear it apart." I believe there's a much stronger force that has brought us all together, perhaps to find that unity where the blessing is found. Perhaps, just perhaps. Everyone who comes to our gatherings are subconsciously or consciously seeking or working in unison or harmony to keep this energetic, safe place open to bring others who have the same interests in common. When Church wrote, "The most real things in this world are those that neither children nor men can see," what did he mean? I know there are many here tonight know that there's something greater than what the physical eye can see. And he went on to write, "Nobody can conceive or imagine the wonders that are unseen and unseeable in the world." What if the answers to things that challenge you are right there within your reach and you just can't see them with the physical eye? With Church's writings in this short editorial, it appears his thoughts are still very much in line with spirituality today. And that was over 100 years ago. I think to most of you, you've heard the name Albert Einstein. He was revered as a man with great genius, and his curiosity and childlike wonders directed him to explore many challenges and concepts that that many didn't notice or care about. That led him to get curious and to led him to make the way to remarkable understandings and prove theories and assumptions. He didn't think of himself as smart. Instead, he thought of himself as more curious and persistent. He valued love, imagination, balance, and determination. He once was quoted as saying, "It is not that I am so smart, but I stay with the question much longer." As Virginia, she stayed with her question that may have played a major impact on her life, bringing her to an educator for all of those years. I ask you, what question do you have that you repeatedly ask yourself and have not thoroughly investigated the answer? And that may be the biggest blessing of your life. What is it that you feel just may have stifled your spiritual growth a little bit without persistence and determination needed to satisfy your spirit? Spiritual growth is not a one size fit all. And I think the key element would be kindness, compassion, empathy, grace, truth, commitment, service to others, service to self, and service to the God of your understanding. Probably at the most important time, the most would be time to understand time itself, to understand and to keep moving forward and till you see those blessings that are right around you. Time to know your boundaries and to respect the spirit that you are. Time to understand the importance and meaningful connection that answers the internal question that keeps coming to the forefront. And time to celebrate the being that you are, that wonderful being. To celebrate that inner self and to keep curious and determined. Isn't that what Einstein did? I want to leave you with a poem. It's called Spirituality, and it was written by Marcia A. Newton. Strength, awareness, comfort, and awe. A connection to something greater than all. Pure song of the spirit that brings hope to the life, and to bring inner peace to the soul it enlightens. Inner strength and centering mind of thought, where heart is readied and calmness is sought. Renewing the soul in harmony and bliss when the quiet mind and worries cease. Inspired by the spirit of life and love, a journey of awareness where you see God. Tranquility, quiet, stillness, and calm. a reflection of the sacred as a song of psalm. Unburden oneself to be humble in heart, to be one with the Spirit rather than apart. Awareness in oneself, both body and mind, and calling into existence the light of the divine. Living in peace within ourselves, God and all. A connection with God's creatures, both great and small. Illumination of spirit, of heart, and of mind, and seeing beyond oneself rather than blind. Transcending oneself beyond the limits of mind, to embrace what is good and all that is kind. Yearning so intense for the soul to be free and being the person God created us to be. I want to thank you so much for being here today to serve you and to serve Spirit.